Did you know there's a new Paul McCartney song out? It's called Days We Left Behind.
Yeah, from his upcoming album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane. Let's talk about that. Coming out May 29th, yeah. And the way it happened is just so counterintuitive for a guy of his stature.
Oh, completely.
Like, back in 2021, he was having a totally casual tea break with his producer, Andrew Watt.
Just hanging out in the studio.
Yeah, just trading ideas. And Paul lets his hands wander over his guitar fretboard, and he strikes a chord.
And he doesn't know what it is.
Exactly. His fingers found this shape, but his conscious brain was just like totally confused by the sound coming out.
Which is staggering. I mean, we are talking about the architect behind some of the most analyzed chord progressions in all of 20th century music.
Yeah.
For him to play a chord and not know its name, it's mind-blowing.
But the cool part is what he did next, right?
Right.
Because most musicians would just correct the mistake.
Oh, for sure. Just go back to what's comfortable.
Right. But he leaned into it. He tinkered with it. He shifted one single note within that mystery chord, listened to the tension, then shifted another note to resolve it.
And suddenly he builds a 3-chord sequence.
Right there on the spot.
Yeah.
And Andrew Watt recognized the magic and was like, we have to record this immediately.
And that accidental sequence there, right? The opening track.
Yep, the one that sets the tone for the entire new record.
He has this concept he brings up sometimes where he calls his songwriting process a seance, which I just love.
It strips away all the ego.
Exactly. He isn't, sitting down demanding to write a hit. He's just opening himself up to the room and waiting to see what sounds materialize.
Yeah, it's about a deliberate suspension of control. And they spent 5 solid years making The Boys of Dungeon Lane with that exact philosophy.
With zero pressure from any record label.
None at all. Nobody was looking at a calendar. They just recorded in these highly focused bursts between Los Angeles and his own Hog Hill Mill studio down in Sussex.
Which is wild when you think about what else he was actually doing with his time.
The Got Back tour.
Exactly. He was recording this quiet, accidental music right in the middle of a massive global stadium tour, which just ended in November 2025.
Right.
So one week he's playing to 60,000 screaming fans, and the next he's retreating to a quiet English mill to play around with drum kits by himself.
And he played almost everything on this album himself. The guitar, the drums, the bass lines.
Just like his 1970 solo debut album, McCartney.
Totally.
Yeah.
It heavily echoes the do-it-yourself isolation. Doing it all himself removes that translation layer,
Yeah.
He doesn't have to explain a drum fill to a session guy. He just feels it.
And when you're sitting alone in a studio, acting as your own entire band, playing bass and drums in isolation, the music naturally turns inward.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly introspective. He's taking you straight back to his post-war childhood in working class speak in Liverpool.
Right, because he's anchoring it in these very specific, highly personal locations.
Yeah, like Dungeon Lane.
Which sounds completely medieval.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it was just this local road by the Mersey River where he used to sit with a field guide and watch birds.
And Forthland Road, too, reflecting on those early adventures with John and George.
Exactly. It's so hyper-local, just teenage kids plotting out their futures.
Right, long before they put on the colorful uniforms of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Yeah, and even the visual presentation reinforces that specific era. The album cover isn't a portrait. It looks exactly like an old weathered Liverpool street sign.
With the L24 postcode.
Yes, and the physical release is pressed on this gorgeous green vinyl. It feels like an artifact.
But let's talk about that lead single, Days We Left Behind, which just dropped on March 26th.
Yeah.
Because it's a raw acoustic ballad, but the vocal performance it's jarring.
It is very raspy.
Extremely raspy. And I have to throw this pushback out there for you to chew on.
Go ahead.
Are we entirely sure this rasp is an intentional artistic choice? Or is this just an 83-year-old engine rattling because it has 1,000,000 miles on it? Like, is he consciously leaving the polish off?
Well, that friction you're hearing is the entire point.
Yeah.
Yes, there is biological wear and tear.
Right. He can't hit the high notes of his 20s anymore.
But the artistic choice is in refusing to hide it.
Okay.
Like he could use modern production tools to pitch correct it, layer it, smooth out the rasp.
Easily make it pristine.
But he chooses to present it completely bare. He's using his aging vocal cords as an instrument.
So the physical deterioration itself becomes part of the storytelling.
Precisely. It emphasizes this vast distance between the old man singing into the microphone today and the young boy on Dungeon Lane he's singing about.
That makes a lot of sense.
If he sounded perfect, it would just feel like folklore. The fragility makes it sound like a human trying to hold on to a memory.
And the critics are totally eating that up. You have traditional outlets like The Guardian calling the track extraordinarily honest.
Yeah, and Ewan Gleadow gave it 4 out of 5 stars, explicitly noting that the lingering nostalgia is what sticks with you.
And I saw writers at Bourbon and Vinyl comparing it to Leonard Cohen's late stage work.
Which is a huge compliment. Cohen used that gravel in his voice to deliver sheer emotional devastation. We kind of desperately need that unpolished rock and roll right now.
What fascinates me is that even the hyper-modern critics are on board. That prominent YouTube critic, the one who operates in that highly analytical Anthony Fantano style, he gave the track a solid 7 out of 10.
Calling it a big step up from McCartney III, yeah.
Because McCartney III was all synth experiments and pandemic-era isolation. Very gear-driven.
And Days We Left Behind strips all that away for pure organic memory.
But there is this massive contradiction happening right now, Cass.
Oh, you mean the fans?
Exactly. While Paul is completely focused on preserving his own memories of the past, the fans are desperately trying to capture their memories of him today.
And sometimes failing. Let's talk about the Fonda Theatre shows.
March 27th and 28th.
2 surprise, incredibly intimate shows in L.A. The venue holds roughly 1,200 people.
And the set list was a total curveball.
Right. You'd think he'd play the deeply personal new single.
Nope. He completely ignored the new stuff and just played massive classics like Help and Jet.
Keeping all the demand focused on the legacy hits.
Wow.
But the set list wasn't what caused the massive uproar online.
It was the entry requirements, the yonder pouches.
Yes. You walk up to the doors of the theater, and they immediately make you place your phone inside this neoprene bag.
And it magnetically locks for the entire show. No photos, no videos.
No digital mementos of any kind. Which, from Paul's camp's perspective, makes sense.
Sure, they want to control the intellectual property.
And force the audience to be present.
Yeah.
When you take away the glowing screens, people stop acting like documentarians.
They become actual participants in the room, but flip that around and look at it from a fan's perspective. You likely paid thousands of dollars on the secondary market.
Yeah, true.
You're in a tiny room with a guy in his 80s who fundamentally changed global culture. You might never see him perform live again.
You want to preserve that.
You want a 10-second video of Jet to prove you were there? Banning phones in 2026 feels to a lot of people like stripping away a modern sensory organ.
It caused a huge amount of friction online. Fans felt they were being punished.
So his PR team tries to fix it.
Right. They realized the locked pouches left a sour taste, so they say, hey, if you can't take your own blurry photos, we will give you pristine professional ones.
And they head over to Reddit, specifically the r/Paul McCartney subreddit.
To post these beautiful official concert shots so fans could have memories.
And this is where the story shifts into absolute brilliant comedy. What happens when his official team hits submit?
The post never sees the light of day.
Immediately gone. An automated spam filter just obliterates it.
Or maybe a highly overzealous community moderator operating the bots. We don't know for sure. But Sir Paul McCartney gets instantly and automatically banned from his very own fan forum.
It is the ultimate irony. He locks everyone's phones in a physical pouch to control the live experience.
Yeah.
And then an automated line of code locks him in a digital pouch when he tries to control the online experience. Is anyone immune to the algorithm?
I guess the algorithm certainly doesn't care if you wrote Hey Jude.
Not at all.
Reddit's administration eventually scrambled to fix the technical bug and reinstated his account.
But the post sharing those professional photos remains completely deleted.
It's totally gone. It instantly became a legendary piece of internet lore.
It just proves a massive point about how we interact with culture today. You have a man who has been one of the most photographed humans on Earth for over 6 decades.
Right.
And he gets locked out of a digital room dedicated to his own life's work because a bot thought he was posting spam. You just cannot meticulously curate nostalgia in 2026.
The modern world will always inject a little bit of chaos into the machinery.
Always.
Which ties everything perfectly back to why the Boys of Dungeon Lane feel so vital right now. We are living in an ecosystem of algorithmic bans, locked neoprene phone pouches, and endless digital noise.
And Paul's response isn't to fight the technology.
No, his response is to bypass it completely. He strips all the machinery away.
Just picks up a guitar.
Exactly. He uses the raspy, fragile voice he has today and sings about the simple days he left behind in Liverpool.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. It's the Beatles all day, every day, 8 days a week. Cass will do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Catch you later, everyone. Until next time, when you listen,
Your mind conducts its own symphony.